Good morning, everyone. Hope everybody is fine and enjoying your beautiful morning. So, let's begin today's section. Today's topic is very interesting, that is terrorism. So, in today's class, we are going to study the meaning, definition, and causes for the terrorism. So, let's begin the section then. So, firstly, we'll have a look at what is the basic meaning of the terrorism. Terrorism is an act of violence which intended to create fear in the minds of people. The word terrorism can be traced to Latin word terror, which means fear. Now let's look at the definition of the terrorism. Terrorism may be defined as an pre-planned, well-organized act of violence by the trained group of individuals to realize their desired goals. This definition is given by USA State Department. In the second point, we are going to see what is the basic causes for the terrorism. Basically, it is very harmful for the nation development as well as human development. We have to bring strict control over the acts of the terrorism. That's why, in order to make you people aware about this, I have chosen this topic today. Okay, then let's see what are the basic causes of the terrorism. In that first one, separatist movement. Since partition of country, communal force are including in separatist activities, fundamentals in Jammu and Kashmir 1947 and Punjab 1980 started separatist movement on religious basis. Organization like Jammu and Kashmir Liberation Front, JKLF, Indian Mujahideen, IM, and other terrorist groups are involving in the separatist movement. So this movement rise due to the regional and religion difference among the people. It was created to keep control over one group by the other group and achieve their specific goals. Next point is religion. Some of the religious fundamentalist organizations belonging to Muslim, Hindu, Christian, Sikhs have been supporting and helping the terrorist activities for their long-term political gains. It has led to the rise of religious fundamentalism. So, in countries like India, where many people live together, in order to gain control over each other, they will form groups like this, and their main aim is to make one actual religion which should be followed by every people of the country. Next point is weak political system. Multi-party system which has led to coalition in India has weakened this system. Coalition partners belonging to various ideologies and goals are now supporting the firm decision and strong actions against the activities of the terrorist. So you all know that in India we are having multi-party system, means presence of more than one party, wherein during the time of election, if no party gets an majority vote, more than one party comes together and form the coalition politics, but it has a greater disadvantage, that is difference of ideologies. So this gave rise to uh, these kind of activities, and government failed to put full stop on these kind of anti-democratic activities. Next one, destruction of the government. The terrorist organizations are destructing the democratic governance in the nation in a violent ways, which have targeted government top political leaders and officers. So, terrorist activity is the great hindrance to the democracy, because they have put an aim on the great political leaders in order to fulfill their political gains. They have targeted the many great political famous leaders and other officers. Next one, disrespect to the constitution. Sorry, before that, economic uh, deprivation, uneven economic development and exploitation of the poor by rich has created a great gulf between have and have nots. Members of the people have adopted the terrorist path in the name of economic inequality. As you all know that there is no equal distribution of economic wealth and other resources in India. This has created a great difference between haves and have-nots due to fulfill their economic inequalities. Some of the people have started to support these kind of terrorist groups. Next, disrespect to the constitution. Though constitution is a fundamental law of the nation, terrorist groups and organizations are violating it. The constitutional government's threats and pressures of the terrorist where government compromise with the terrorist demands. It is dangerous to the integrity and sovereignty of the nation. Though we have a constitution of India as an fundamental law, but it was exploited by the terrorist group, because government easily ready to accept the demands of the terrorist. It is very danger because it can be a threat to the nation integrity and sovereignty. Next point, anti-democratic activities. Terrorists are always bent upon the destabilizing the democratic process, threatening and kidnapping polling officials, voters, candidates, booth capturing, electoral process due to terrorist attacks. Several times periodical elections do not have been conducted. The anti-democratic activities create fear and insecurity in the minds of the people. This is one of the great hindrance to the democratic India, because you know that we are having a democratic form of government in India where people themselves are the kingmakers, have to choose their representatives by their own ideologies. But sometimes what happens, some terrorist groups, in order to fulfill their own desires and goals, they force people by kidnapping, polling officials, voters, candidates, booth capturing. By doing all these process, they create fear in the minds of people, which leads to the insecurity in the minds of the people. So next point is, it is an obstacle to the economic growth. The government have to spend huge amount of money for modernization, military process, police force to curb the terrorism. It also destroys the economic development of the nation. The fund which is meant for the social welfare is threat of the terrorism, effects of the terrorism. The foreign and native people feel insecure. The terrorism is an obstacle to the growth of the country. Every country has kept a huge sum of amount or a fund for the development of the country and to look after the welfare of the people. But due to the terrorist activities in the country, government has to spend huge expenditure in order to put control on the terrorist activities. They have to spend large amount of money on military, police force, etc. And it leads a very bad impact on the minds of the people. Foreigners and native people always feel insecure. So this is the one point, that terrorism is an obstacle to the economic growth. Next, we are going to see by what all measures we can control the terrorism. In that first one, measures to control terrorism. In that first one, social economic development in the terrorist areas would provide some solutions to the problem. First point, social acceptance. The measures have to be taken to bring terrorists back to the mainstream of the social life. They should not be made to suffer from stigma of terrorism. When a person who is involved in the terrorism, we have to bring him back in the social life, and we should provide him a good life and some moral values and love, affection, and care, so that he or she can lead a good life, forgetting the past. Next one, education. Lack of nation oriented moral education at the youth will leads to all these kinds of the activities. So education is the strongest weapons to fight against these evil practices such as terrorism and corruption. We should always teach children good values, moral values, and patriotism, so that they can avoid all these kind of activities, and we can shape our child future in a better way. Next point, Employment opportunities. Generation of employment opportunities at the right age to everyone avoids the undemocratic and anti-national activities by providing proper employment opportunities. After completing the graduation, every youth should get and right employment so that he can invest his free time in a better manner for his own personality development and for the development of the country. Next point, financial assistance. More and more youths should be encouraged to become self employed by providing financial assistance to the banks. As you all know that India is having a large number of population, it cannot provide employment to the each and every person, so it has to make some policies to make a youth self-employed by providing them self-employed opportunities by financial assistance. Next point, economic inequality. Government has to formulate large scale of economic measures to eliminate poverty, exploitation and ensure economic equality. So we should treat always everybody with an equality, whether he is rich or the poor. Always government should aim at the development of the underdeveloped areas, and removal of poverty should be the main aim of the government. Next point, rehabilitation. Government has to take measures to immediately compassionate the unrooted, uh, exhausted people while executing large national scale policies and programs. Next point, last point of today's class, that is removal of regional disparity. Not all parts of nation are equally developed. Government should take a special measures, legislative actions to remove the regional disparities. Many terrorists originate from the regional imbalance areas. So government has to keep in mind that it should work for the development of each and every areas, and it should remove the regional disparities, because the main cause for the terrorist attacks and terrorism is imbalanced, regional imbalanced and underdeveloped areas. So, for example, we can see the terrorist attack which was happened on 26/11/2008 Mumbai Taj Hotel by 10 members who came from the Pakistan by coastal routes, and they entered India. They went to Taj Hotel and they killed lots of people and cause and destruction to the hotel. And the main person behind this was Kasab, who was sentenced to the hanging at Yadwada Central Jail in Pune on 21st November 2012. You can see this movie. There is a movie called 2611. When you are free, you can watch this movie. You easily get it in the YouTube. By watching this, you will understand how the terrorist activities happen in India, and how uh, what all activities happen in 26/11/2008 at the Taj Hotel, Mumbai. It was called as 26/11 because the attack was happened on the day of 26 November 2008. So this is the reason it was called as the 26/11. So please watch the movie, gain some knowledge. So we'll end this section here. If you have any doubts, questions related to this topic or any other topic which is concerned to the political science, please comment me below. Please share this channel with your family, friends and relatives, and please subscribe to my channel for more upcoming interesting videos in the upcoming section. Till then, take care, stay safe, take care of your family, make mistakes, learn from them and move ahead. So see you in the tomorrow's section. Till then, take care. Bye. And one more important information, in coming section, one day I'm going to share my own experience, how I started my own YouTube channel, who was the main inspiration behind it. I hope you have liked today's section. See you tomorrow. Bye. Take care.